Welcome to Bailey Price Media Live. Today we have a great show planned for you on this fine Wednesday. Alcorn State coach Leroy Frederick joins the show to discuss Thomas Castellanos tripling down, so to speak, on his viral Alabama comments where he called them out for not having Nick Saban, as well as Tampa Bay Buccaneers training camp news as Coach Prime visits Shilo down in Tampa Bay at training camp, as well as Pete Carroll signing Jamal Adams to the Las Vegas Seahawks or Las Vegas Raiders, whatever you want to call them. All this and more here on the other side. Welcome back to another edition of Bailey Price Media Live.
Bailey Price Media, I like it.
Going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to another edition of Bailey Price Media Live. Got a lot to talk about today on this fine Wednesday. If you're watching and tuning in, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, become a member of the Bailey Price Media Army today. Chat's already popping. My main man Rio's in the building. Shout out Rio. Man, we got a lot to talk about today here on Bailey Price Media Live. Without further ado, I'm not going to waste any further time with our main man, Alcorn State coach Leroy Frederick. Coach Fred joins the show. Coach Fred, happy Wednesday. How you doing, my man?
Man, what's up, B? How you living? Everything's good. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing well here on this fine Wednesday. Coach Fred, always nice having you on the show. Man, you got a show today? You got a show on the Common Man podcast at 5 Central? Anybody? Who you got?
Drive at 5, man. We got a pretty big guest, man. We got Bucky coming through today to talk a little bit, man. So, he's coming through. We're going to try to get our guy, Dr. Fred, to open the show again, depending on what he has going on at the hospital. As we get ready to get to camp, we're going to run down that thing again with the hydration and how important that is, just not for athletes, but for coaches, anybody that works outside. So we want to run that down again. So hopefully he'll be able to have a free moment at the hospital. If not, then we'll jump right into that thing with Bucky. And we'll run it down, man. His life as a Seminole, Green Bay Packers, Super Bowl, now head coach, all that stuff, man, be going down today.
Absolutely. You want to go check out Coach Fred, go check him out over at the Common Man podcast. He'll be live here pretty soon at 5 Central. Coach Fred, can't thank you enough for joining. Before we talk Coach Prime and Shilo, and we're going to talk some FSU, and I got some stuff to say about Florida State, Coach Fred. You and I might disagree. I don't know.
Yeah, I already feel like we are.
Probably. But Coach Fred, so HBCU, we got some HBCU news to discuss here. And Shady McCoy was hosting. I'm just going to go ahead and show it, Coach Fred. Shady McCoy made a mistake, I'm just going to say, during a I'll just go ahead and show it, Coach Fred. Take a look.
With Hampton, and it's funny, man. You can tell when Hampton's in the building, high standards. Look,
We're gonna keep letting that go. We're not Hampton. We're the real HU. We're a Howard University.
that's my bad.
So he called Howard Hampton, and Coach Fred, what was your reaction as a HBCU coach yourself seeing this?
Man. Shady's got a lot to learn, man, about the culture, so to speak. Those two schools don't like each other. They're big rivals. They're in different conferences now, and that was almost like calling Oklahoma State in a sense. And the running joke on that was that once Vic got the job, once Deshaun Jackson got the job, everyone was saying that Shady was going to be next in line for that job.
Right.
But then he's called the job that he was supposed to be next in line for. He called him the rival. So I don't know if he's still like the next guy or not. You know what I mean? But Larry Scott, good friend of mine, I had him on the show as well. I texted him last night, and he was like, man, can you believe that? I was like, no, I didn't believe it. I couldn't believe he did. He made that I'm going to charge it to his mind. He made that mistake, man, on live TV.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought you'd get a kick out of that because I saw that. I was like, "Oh, shady, damn shady."
Fighting words, man. Fighting words.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, Coach Fred, let's talk some actual HBCU news here. Deshaun Jackson, speaking of media days, Deshaun Jackson kind of discussed how he and Michael Vick, despite their lack of coaching experience, are not afraid and are very optimistic in their first year as head coaches. Take a listen, Coach Fred.
I think, man, it was good yesterday to first time meet these guys, and like you said, it's a lot of success in that room when we sit down and meet with the other four head coaches. Some of these guys, their track record, how long they've been coaching at this level, and for me and Vic, this is our first year of coaching. It's just like a lot to really learn, but at the same time, we're very confident and we're competitive as well too. So it's like a happy medium. But I think for us, man, we don't care if we haven't coached. We don't care if they coach for high. At the end of the day, when it's time to line it up, man, put your best up. I'm going to put my best up and let's get it on. And then after the game, we shake hands and it's respect. But, during those periods of time, those 3 hours is going to get real, man. And that's how we're going to approach everything. We take no prisoners.
Coach Fred, I got to ask you. We discussed when Deshaun Jackson hired at Delaware State. Obviously, I think they've won 2 games in the last 2 seasons. He's obviously turning around that program, as is Michael Vick over at Norfolk. But hearing this, as we're closer to the season, what are your thoughts? What are your expectations for Deshaun Jackson in Delaware State? I believe him and Vick in Norfolk State face off at Lincoln Financial Field where the Eagles play. So that'll be pretty interesting to watch in November. But what is your reaction to seeing those comments from Coach Jackson?
I mean, I liked it all the way up until the end. I think at the end, he kind of put a little bulletin board material up for the next teams that he'll be seeing, with the and take no prisoners. He came back and threw that in there. So I think up to that point, man, I'm really happy, excited to see him kind of, I don't want to say respecting the conference coaches and what they've done in that conference before him. I thought it was pretty good little interview. Like I said, all the way up until the end, and that's when he kind of gave him the bulletin board material.
Right, absolutely, and we talked about Delaware State turning. I mean, Coach Jackson's going to work on turning them around, obviously in a tough spot. But he does have a pipeline recruiting California. Still, though, tough flipping California kids out to Delaware. Yeah, exactly, Delaware. What are your expectations for Coach Jackson in year one?
Man, year one, Bailey, I want to be very optimistic, but I just, I can't see them flipping it around and competing for the championship in year one. You know what I mean? I think if he can get them to 3 to 4 wins, I think that's a win, for him. I think that's something he should be saluted for. Because we know they've been known to do some 1 wins and some 2 wins around there. So for him to get to 3 or 4 and look competitive in all the games, I think is what he's got to have his mindset on. So I'm marking it at around 3 or 4, Bailey.
Yeah, no, I mean it's steps like Prime going into Colorado. We're going to talk Prime in a little bit. Took over a 1-win program, 4 wins and then 9 wins. And for me, as somebody who covers Colorado, my expectation is more to get to the double digits. Hopefully, it's going to be tough in the Big 12. And we can break down their schedule, but the expectation is to build up on year 3. So Coach Jackson's got a lot of building to do, and this is going to be a tough year one. But expectation is to get more than 2 wins than how many Delaware State's had in the last 2 seasons. So
exactly,
building. But Coach Fred, love getting your perspective on that. To all those watching, hit that like button, subscribe, become a member of the Bailey Price Media Army. To all those tuning in, I appreciate you, Roberto. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Coach Fred, we got to talk about something that we probably will disagree on here. Your FSU Seminoles here. Thomas Castellanos here. So let's get into it. Thomas Castellanos triples down on his viral Alabama comments where he said they don't have Nick Saban to save them. I just don't see them stopping me. Coach Fred, take a listen to this I mean, as a Seminole, I got to hear your reaction.
Does said some things differently?
Most definitely, but I stand on what I said. Well, we stand on what I said. So I said what I said. We stand on that, and I don't mean no disrespect to none of those guys at Alabama or anything like that. It's just I have confidence in my guys and the work that we've been putting in and preparing and the preparation we've been putting together. So that's all that was. I just no disrespect to those guys, but we stand on what I said.
Ooh. Coach Fred, what's your reaction to seeing that? Thomas Castellano standing on business.
Bailey, he says no disrespect to those guys, but I said what I said. that was total disrespect.
Yeah,
that was total disrespect. When I saw that, man, I was like, oh man, we've got to do a better job of vetting these things at media day. Because you don't want the kid to get up there and do that. Because not only does it put a target on his back, now we've let sleeping dogs lie, and go from there, man. And just you hadn't done anything there up to this point. You know what I mean? So now you've made the road a little bit harder. So I think I'm going to agree with you on this one, Bailey. That was a total disrespectful miss.
Yeah, 100%. And here I want to show a clip of Thomas Castellanos talking about why he said those comments, and it may provide context or clarity or something to the situation. Coach Fred, take a listen to this.
Young was there.
On the real though, like, bro, you watch any interview, like, I don't never talk like that, bro. But like, them boys coming off of 2-10, I just install some confidence. Feel me? That's all I'm trying to do.
I'm trying to.
That's all I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to get some confidence. Yeah, like I'm trying to get my boys ready to go. Feel me? I'm trying to make it the biggest thing. Feel me?
He said FSU's coming out 2-10. He's trying to instill some confidence, Coach Fred.
That ain't how you do it.
Yeah, it's an interesting method there.
Yeah, that ain't how you do it, Bailey.
I think Alabama's going to be tough, Coach Fred. And let's go ahead and
prove.
Yeah, let's break down Florida State's schedule with Coach Norvell here. They open up with Bama week 1. How do you feel about that matchup? Let's just talk about it and kind of preview it from your perspective as a Seminole fan yourself. Go ahead.
Well, in years past, man, we kind of fared pretty well in those opening day classics, so to speak, up until last year. When you remember, they should have beat Georgia Tech. DJ threw 3 basically wide open touchdowns into the front row of the stands. But I think that's going to be a tough one, just because of all the new pieces, man. And I know Alabama's got new pieces too, but that's going to be a tough one. Mm-hmm. I'd like to think we're going to pull that out, but that's going to be tough. That's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the schedule here, trying to think of who it is. I mean, obviously, I think Bama's going to be a loss for FSU. I think Clemson, Tech with Kyron Drones is going to be a tough. I mean, that back half of the schedule is kind of an ACC gauntlet, Coach Fred, and then you got Florida at the end with Lagway. What are your expectations for Florida State? And coming off a 2-win season from such a successful season, the season prior, what are your expectations? And Coach Norvell faces some pressure. How many games they got to win, Coach Fred?
I'm sitting here. I'm saying I'm kind of like you, but being a Noel, I'm going to give us the edge on Bama. So that's 1. East Texas better be 2. Kent State better be 3. Virginia better be 4. Miami's going to be a swing one, I think, just because it's tough. We don't know what those pieces are, and it's a rivalry game. So, but I'm going to side with us in that one as well. They don't have the same quarterback. He's in Tennessee now, so that'll be interesting to see how that works out. So, up to the Miami game, I'm saying 5-0. Pitt have an opportunity to be 6-0. Stanford, I think, is kind of fell off the cliff. 7-0, 8-0. We get to Clemson. Wow. We get to Clemson undefeated. That's going to be for the championship.
Oh my God! Okay, hold on. Okay, you are optimistic. Certainly, I was going to sit here and tell you how concerned I am about Florida State because I think Alabama is going to humble Thomas Castellanos in week 1. I really do. because I have a lot of confidence in Kalen DeBoer. I think he's a hell of a coach coming over from UW, and we'll see what they do at quarterback. I'm gonna guess it's what's his name, Ty Simpson, but
they have quarterback issues too. So again, that's a swing game, but I think that's doable. Miami and that first
and Pitt are two tough ones, especially Pitt. I think Pitt is kind of getting overlooked in the
Pitt at home though.
Huh?
Pitt at home. Pitt's in Tallahassee.
Yeah.
Miami's in Tallahassee.
To Stanford, Stanford is gonna be not good, but
yeah, I think
still, let's travel, go back to Wake Forest, then to Clemson. Okay, Clemson's a loss. Virginia Tech's a loss. Florida's a loss. NC State's going to be a questionable one. They got a good quarter. What's his name? CJ Bailey. I want to see how he looks this season. Miami and Pitt's going to be tough, and then Bama. So I don't know, Coach. What is your
8-9?
Let me ask you. What is Mike? How many games does Mike Norvell have to win? Let's just say that. Like he's
got to get to 8. He's got to get to
8.
He's got to get to 8. And it's got to be a competitive 8. You know what I mean? It's got to be we're right there on the edge, at large bid type 8. It can't be anything. I don't think it'd be anything less than 8, in my opinion, but just because of how bad it looked and how quick it fell off the cliff after that playoff snub that year.
Absolutely. And going back to Thomas Castellanos, what are your expectations for him coming over from Boston College? In some questionable ways, in my opinion, kind of getting benched and then transfer. Like Mike Norvell's taking a gamble with another transfer quarterback, and in my opinion, more questionable circumstances. Nonetheless, I think he's a good player, and I'm looking forward to seeing if he thrives in Norvell's system. Going to one of these comments in the comment section, Austin Mack better hit the portal if he doesn't get PT at Bama. It shocks me that Kalen DeBoer doesn't run with Austin Mack, who he brought over from UW and signed to UW. It kind of shocks me, but also I've heard a lot of good things about Ty Simpson, so just kind of watch out. Or Bama's got 3 different quarterbacks here. Keelan Russell, the freshman, I don't know if they'll ever play him, but man, he's gonna be a stud one day. But
but he's got some pressure too, Bailey.
DeBoer, oh yeah, I mean he has to win. Like there's no 8 wins is going to put him in a lot of heat, in Tuscaloosa. You know how their fans are. You know how the expectation is.
Yes, sir.
Win, especially coming off of Nick Saban. So,
yes, sir.
Man, let's move forward, Coach Fred. Interesting discussion with Florida State. I think they're certainly under a lot of pressure, and 8 wins for Norvell with this schedule, I think, could be tricky, in my opinion. But Coach Fred certainly is optimistic. He said 8-0 going into what, Clemson? Shit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Heard it here first. Bentley Price Media.
Damn. All right. And you think they beat Florida at the end of the year in Gainesville in the Swamp?
That's always a good one, man. And then again, like I said, Florida's success I think is if Lagway can stay healthy. Long SEC season, get there. If the wheels fall off for them early, what do they do with their head coach situation? You know what I mean? He was already hot seat.
Yeah, Napier. Yeah. I mean, he has to win too. I mean, we can talk about coaches in the hot seat because we can go all over the place. Hugh Freeze and Auburn's got to win, and I don't know either. I think them, Florida State. I can go on and on here, but man, Coach, let's go in the NFL here. Let's talk some NFL, and I want to go to a team I've kind of talked about here, Coach Fred, a little bit over the last few months, and training camp began today. Brian Daboll named Russell Wilson the starter in New York, and the Russell Wilson to Malik Neighbors connection has been on fire so far on day one of training camp, Coach Fred. Here you see Russell Wilson throwing to Malik Neighbors here for a touchdown. You got another one here, Russ to Malik Neighbors. Hell of a catch there by Neighbors as well. And then here you see another Russell Wilson touchdown here. I wanted to include this throw. This isn't into Neighbors, I don't believe, but this I thought was a hell of a throw from Russell Wilson. Man, Coach Fred, I've been saying it. The Giants are going to play spoiler in the NFC East. They may not make the playoffs. I think they have to win 8 games in order to keep for Daboll and then the general manager to keep their jobs, in my opinion. But looking good so far in training camp, Coach Fred. What are your expectations and what are your reaction to that?
It's kind of like we talked about them last time. Those clips right there say one or two things, Bailey. Either they're really good offensively, that's going to be a heck of a connection, or they are really bad in the secondary. One or two things. You got, there's a thing going on right there that I think if it's really clicking, they have something special. But then if it's not clicking, it's because of the other guys on the other side of the ball. It's going to be a long year for Daboll again.
I really think, and to your point, here's a clip of Jackson Dart. His first play was an interception, Coach Fred. So to your point, the Giants defense, man, actually be, not too bad, but also as training camp, I don't put too much weight into it. But I just think Brian Daboll, good coach. I think he brought in Russell Wilson for a reason. He also got Jameis there. Jackson Dart, they'll develop and see what he is. They, decided to trade up. Who's in the secondary? You get Deontay Banks there, who I expect to really take a step up and become a premier corner in the league, and kind of make a name for himself. I mean, kind of going under the radar, Coach Fred. Picked pretty high, but I have a lot of expectations for him, Coach Fred. How do you feel? Giants in the division still not. You're not as optimistic as I am, Coach. But go ahead. I think they're going to play spoiler.
I just, man, I don't know how much has Russell fell off. You know what I mean? Or has he? One of those type situations. They're going to be able to protect him. How long a leash does he have before they go ahead and they go with their number one pick? That kind of thing. So I just think they had too many holes to fill. I just see him being middle of the pack, 5-win-ish, like we talked about last time. It could go either way, but I'm saying with that quarterback room, can they protect him? Defensively, can they stop anybody? It's going to be big. And what do you do when they take away Malik Neighbors? Yeah. What do you do then?
Coach Fred, here's what I'm going to say. Their defense, I think, is going to be legit, especially the defensive line. We've shown clips of their defensive line. Their defense, think about it. You got Kayvon Thibodeau, Burns, Dexter Lawrence. I'm missing a name off there too. They got a hell of a defensive line. I'm showing you clips. Just wait, Coach Fred. That defensive line is going to give people problems. Dexter Lawrence goes under the radar, but I think he's probably the best D tackle in the NFL.
That's secondary. That's secondary.
Yeah, it's all up to the secondary. See how Banks looks. See how the other parts in the secondary look, Coach Fred. And here's the biggest thing, to me, the biggest key for the Giants. Can they run the ball? They got Tracy, the running back, Cam Scotabo, who I've been seeing clips of as well in training camp. Can the Giants run the ball? How does that offensive line look? Because if there's any leaks in that offensive line, Russ panics quick. I will say Russ can get out of pressure, but this is old Russ. So Russ will panic quick. He's going to throw the ball away. He's not as quick, but let's see if the Giants can run the ball. I will certainly be optimistic. I still think they're going to play spoiler in the NFC East. We'll see, Coach Fred. We'll see. I'm really happy, Coach. Training camp start. We're almost to football season. 1 month away from college, Coach. 1 month away. Almost there. Let's move forward, Coach Fred, before we get into some more bigger topics. The Tar Heels, must-see TV, I'm telling you, sold out. I believe this is online tickets or something, pre-sale, some shit. But I'm telling you, people are going to watch the Tar Heels, Coach Fred. I can't wait. Coach JB's had the debate on the show, will they win 8 games? I've broken down their schedule. I think their schedule is pretty favorable to them, certainly, especially the non-conference schedule. So we'll see, Coach Fred. But any reaction to this?
Yeah, I'm still holding out hope for you, man. She's been quiet. She hasn't said anything. No news is good news, right? So
everyone's concerned about what's her name, Jordan Hudson. Watch, she's gonna be on the sideline, and then they're gonna win a bunch of games, and it's gonna be, it's gonna be like Deion Sanders coverage, bro. Because you know how it's gonna be, Coach Fred.
Kansas City Chiefs type game.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of eyes. But Coach Fred, I want to talk about the Las Vegas Seahawks. Excuse me, the Las Vegas Raiders, and they signed Jamal Adams. Here you can see him. First look here as Jamal Adams in Raiders training camp. First look at Jamal Adams as a Raider. Here, pretty amped up here, Coach Fred. What was your reaction to the Raiders signing Jamal Adams? And then Pete Carroll's come out and said they're going to compete and try to win here. His expectation is to win 10 games. What are your expectations for the Raiders and the reaction to them signing Jamal?
I think that says exactly what Pete just talked about, that they are reaching for guys that are experienced. Jamal may be a little long in the tooth by NFL measures, but he's somebody that's going to be familiar with the system, a locker room leader, somebody that, you're hoping you're going to be able to get some mileage out of. Yeah. And you know what he wants to do. He wants to play defense. So, I think this was a solid move for a Pete Carroll-led team.
Yeah, and Coach JB broke down this morning with Smitty how he thinks Pete Carroll used Jamal Adams. He certainly expressed concern just because he doesn't think Jamal Adams is like a prototypical safety in this day and age of NFL safeties, and he's not wrong either. I just think when Pete Carroll had Jamal Adams and he was healthy, and the way he used him on blitzes inside the box, like what Jamal Adams' strengths are, like Pete Carroll really used him to his strengths.
Extra linebacker,
right? So
extra linebacker.
Yeah, exactly. Coming off the edge, Jamal Adams was electric as a Seahawk. He'd get hurt all the time. He just couldn't stay healthy, and so I think. He's had some time to heal up here, and he posted on his Twitter he's fully back, fully healthy, and Pete Carroll taking a shot with him. I'm certainly optimistic. I think the Raiders secondary could certainly use a veteran like Jamal in the secondary. Coach, one thing I want to show before I get your comments on this, Pete Carroll talked about the Raiders secondary, said this may be one of the more impressive groups he's ever coached, and then kind of made a joke about the old Seahawks group of defensive backs. Take a listen.
We're really athletic, we're really fast, and we're big, and it's an impressive looking group. I can't remember ever having a group that looks more impressive than this group. My guys will be pissed at me that I said that up north, the old guys, but it's the truth. These guys are big and fast and really hungry to make a mark and all, and how we blend that together is what a defensive coordinator, defensive coach dreams about. And this is going to be an exciting challenge for us.
Coach
Pete looks good, man. Pete looks good.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he's ready to go. Las Vegas Seahawks, let's go.
You think he's going to be playing scout team quarterback like he used to?
Shit, we might see him running hundreds, Coach. We might see him running up and down. He was running hundreds with the Hawks, Coach. We might see him doing all that. But, man, I'm going to be honest, Coach. I think in the NFL specifically, you really can, turn around a program, I think, in a pretty short amount of time. I mean, it depends in circumstances. But I think Pete is in a particular position to where he can really play like the Giants in their case, spoiler in that division with the Chiefs, the Broncos, who I think are solid, but I also think Bo Nix could experience some hiccups in his second year. What are your expectations for the Raiders in that division?
I'm like you. I think if Geno can play steady, play complementary ball to what Pete wants to do on the other side of the ball with the defense, they have enough weapons offensively, I think, to be able to win out a couple of those 24-21 type games. Defensively, he's going to be tough. Can they go to Kansas City in the winter? Can they go to Denver in the winter and win? I think he's building that. I think he's kind of he's reaching back for the Seahawk days. But I think, just from what he said, I think he has an understanding. This is a different age and different offenses and all that. So he's kind of putting that together when he says blending it all and, and getting it all come together. If they can play complementary offense, man, I think they have a chance to, like you said, unlike the Giants, be a spoiler in that division.
Yeah, and going back to what you said about, Pete going back to his Seahawks days, I think it's kind of like the Seahawks days but accelerated. Pete knows he got to win now. Pete is older. He doesn't have time to draft a rookie quarterback and let him develop for 6 years. And
right.
It's kind of like he did with Russell Wilson. He ain't got that time. Let's be real. So he traded for Geno. I've been watching. He's been compared to the Seahawks. The Raiders have been a lot more aggressive in their moves, whether it's the way drafting a running back and Genty, their moves in the offseason, I really think they're a lot more aggressive, and it makes me optimistic for the Raiders, especially in that division. Who I think
pound and pound. That's what he
certainly,
said.
yeah, like it certainly could be a problem for all three teams in that division: the Chargers, Chiefs, and Broncos. Coach Fred. Well, Coach, let's discuss the topic of the thumbnail before we get you out of here. I can't thank you enough for joining here. Coach Prime is currently at Buccaneers training camp visiting Shilo. Down in Buccaneers training camp. Coach, I had a CBS 10 Tampa's Evan Klosky on the show yesterday to kind of break down his expectations for Shilo, Big Desmond Watson. We did discuss Emeka Ibuka, the first-round receiver they drafted, and so much more. But here you see Coach Prime visiting Shilo down at Buccaneers training camp. Coach Fred, Evan Klosky kind of discussed how it's going to be a tough road, kind of an uphill battle for Shilo to make the roster. That said, I also discussed with them how their safety room is on the lighter side and how if he works his way up as special teams, could have a shot to make the roster. Coach, what are your thoughts?
I think we kind of discussed that one time before. I think that's the way that he has to make the squad. I think it has to be from the special team aspect, and then he's got to be serviceable on the defensive side. But they've got some pretty good safeties there. One in which Wingfield that they're paying a lot of money. So those guys have been really good in that Buck defense for a while. Injuries kind of slowed them up a little bit the last 2 years. In that secondary safety position in general. But I think if he comes in and he does what he needs to do, special teams, be serviceable, I think it'll come down to one of those last picks, last cuts made, practice squad type deal. So I think he's got a chance. I don't think it's just, cut and dry that he don't have, a shot to make the roster. But I think he has an opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's going to work his way up on special teams, do little things, just Shador. I mean, even more in his case.
It ain't happening on the defensive side. At least I don't think it's happening on the defensive side.
I mean, it's going to start with special teams, definitely. Yeah. That's my point. It's like he's going to have to do the little things. Then shit, if he finds his way on the field year one defensively, that would be really impressive. Is what I would say.
Ain't no doubt.
Yeah. Well, Coach, in that news, Buck, so Coach Prime's down there visiting Shilo Bucky, and that means Coach Prime going to be back in Boulder soon, Coach, and that means another massive season for the Buffaloes here. I wanted to show a video of Bucky kind of talking about Bucky's been with Coach Prime in Dallas and kind of, helping him through his health issues here, and he kind of talked about that journey. Coach Fred, take a listen briefly.
I'm sad, I'm not going to lie to you. I learned to really actually love this place. It's not even just about being here. It's like the battle that was fought here. The battle that was fought and won here.
Oh, second. Hey, it's the same one you hated on.
Coach, we're going to find out a lot. We're going to find out a lot about, Coach Prime, because I think he'll come back. I think Colorado's going to have a massive season. I think a lot of people are going to doubt them with the Shador and Travis being gone. But I think if you look at the pieces they have, just watch out for them. If they run the football, Coach Fred, I'm going to be extremely, extremely confident in their season. That, to me, is the determinant. Coach Fred, what's your reaction to it and expectations for the Buffaloes going into 2025?
Was he smoking a cigar?
Yeah. Yeah, I know you saw. I know how much you love cigars. Shoot, yeah, that was Bucky's a cigar guy. So yeah,
I love it. Like you said, man, they've kind of kept what it was health wise under wraps, but it's good to see Coach back up, like you said. I think they have a better quarterback situation now there at Colorado than they've had in the past. I think they've got to go with the veteran, but they've also, like you said, they've got to run the ball. And if they're able to do that, man, I think they'll be able to sneak up on some people and get to another bowl game. And like you said, just continue to build. So I don't expect to see them take a step back. I actually barely think they'll take a step forward into a bigger, better type bowl game. I'm not saying playoffs, but a bigger New Year's type bowl game.
Yeah, and I think their schedule is favorable. Also, they got to go through the Big 12 gauntlet just like last year. and they're going to really, they open up with a test, though, at Georgia Tech, coach, and Georgia Tech's coming to punch them in the mouth. We've already discussed that a lot. And, yeah, like you mentioned, their quarterback situation I think is great. I think they have to open up with the veteran. You got to go open up with experience against a team like Georgia Tech. I think Julian Lewis is talented, very talented, but I don't know how you don't go with the veteran experience of Salter, who's been there for 4 years, played a lot of college football, thrown for a lot of touchdowns and ran for a lot of touchdowns. So, man, I can't wait to see it. Can't wait for a massive season for the Buffaloes. My expectation is for them to get to double-digit wins. I think that's how do you not expect? How's that not your expectation if that's if they're going to go take the next step here? So we'll see if Coach Prime Buffaloes can pull it off. Like I said, if they run the ball, Coach, I'm going to be very
give themselves a chance.
Absolutely. Man, Coach, I appreciate you joining my show here on this fine Wednesday, getting your perspectives on all things NFL and college football. For those watching, go check out Coach Fred on the Common Man podcast, 5 p.m. Central. Go check him out. Got a lot of special guests planned. Coach Fred, want to talk about your show one more time before we get out of here?
Yeah, today, 5 p.m. Central, YouTube, IG, Common Man podcast. We got Terrell Buckley coming on, talk ball with us for a little bit. Hopefully we'll have our Dr. Fred Kinsey come on if he's able to have a break at the hospital, talk hydration and what you need to do during this scorching heat wave we're in.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, really excited about it today, man, having a chance to sit down and talk with a legend like Terrell Buckley.
Absolutely, Coach Fred. Go check out Coach Fred. All those watching, he does a hell of a job. Always love watching Coach Fred every Wednesday night, 5 p.m. Central on the Common Man podcast. Coach, I appreciate you joining. I'll reach out to you offline. Appreciate your perspective. Appreciate you joining. We'll see you soon.
Appreciate you, B.
Absolutely. Shout out to Alcorn State Coach Leroy Frederick for joining the show, my main man, giving us perspective. Always love getting Coach Fred on here every week. Man, I love having Coach Fred on. He's the man. Well, I'll be live here tomorrow with Matt McChesney over on 0 to 60, talking all things Colorado Buffaloes football. We'll continue to break down our all-time Colorado Buffaloes football team here. We broke down wide receivers, tight ends, and offensive linemen yesterday, and we'll dive into the defense and maybe some special teams tomorrow. Maybe Mason Crosby will appear. And Matt and I got a massive announcement for 0 to 60 coming in August, so stay tuned for that as well. Man, I can't wait for this massive season of football ahead. I really can't. And all those watching, all those in the chat, Rio, Gabriel, Roberto, man, I can't thank you guys all enough for joining. All the core supporters of Bailey Price Media Live, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm really trying to build a community here of college football and NFL fans. And stay tuned because this is going to only continue to grow as we hit the season. 2025 season of NFL and college football. So, folks, thank you for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe, become a member of the Bailey Price Media Army today. We'll be live tomorrow. Potentially the Cowboys guest, or maybe we may talk some Shador in Cleveland tomorrow if we can get a Browns reporter on. So we'll stay tuned for that. And man, great show here on this fine Wednesday. Thank you for watching. Hit that like button, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.